Hey, this is Ramon, channel is Alpha 4, and this is actually the second time I'm shooting this video. So Pope Francis said a thing, and a lot of people are upset about it. I'm trying out a new camera. I don't have a microphone for it yet, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to edit it yet. But let's talk about this. So it was reported a few days ago that the Pope said that civil unions are the way of the future and that all homosexual people need to be protected within the family. And while that statement might be true, it is neither novel nor revolutionary. So let's talk about why it's not novel. He actually said this a year, maybe 2 years ago, and it's part of a documentary where the rest of the statement was clipped out, at least on the part that was shared to the rest of the world. It turns out that what he actually said was, it really upset me that I was misquoted when I was talking about how people should interact with their children when they come out as homosexual. And what he had said in his original quote is that when something like that happens, you shouldn't kick them out of their home, you shouldn't disown them, you should find out what the professionals say. I'm not a professional. I'm not a psychiatrist or a doctor. You should send them to a psychiatrist or a doctor and see if they're okay. Now, he then was upset because they took out the part where he said that he's not a professional, that this is the kind of situation where you should seek advice from someone who is qualified. Well, the thing is that he's not qualified to speak on that point as a psychologist or sociologist, so he can speak to it as a theologian, but he's not even considering himself a philosopher here. So as the head of the church, that's not really his purview. And then what he said is he wishes that he hadn't said psychiatrist, because that's what was taken out of context, and that he had said you should seek a professional who actually knows about this topic. But that his pastoral advice was, don't disown your children, don't kick them out of your home. Now, this made all the rad trads on the internet go crazy, and they were calling him a heretic, and they were doing all this other stuff, or wanting to call him a heretic, and wanting clarity on the answer. There wasn't really much, didn't need a lot of clarity. What he was saying was really normal in the Catholic Church. A lot of people confuse evangelical Christianity and its view of fundamental evangelical fundamentalism. They confuse that with traditional Christianity, and that's not the same thing. And Catholics are not part of the evangelical fundamentalist movement. There are evangelical fundamentalists in Catholicism, just like there's liberal theology in Catholicism, but that's not the theology of the entire church. Another thing that a lot of people made a mistake here is that then they ran straight to the catechism. Well, the catechism is not a rule book. It's the consensus, the theological and philosophical consensus of the church at the time that the catechism was promulgated or released to the public. That's what it's there. It's just the overall consensus. It's not an official view. It's not an official view of the church. It's just the majority of theologians in the church say this. So if you need a quick answer, here it is. Here are the reference points. Here's places you can look up. Here's all the text that you can see, and so you can see the context of the question, and you can see the context of the answer, and come to your own conclusion. Catechism is not a rule book, it's a guidebook. Okay, so that's the second thing that happened. But then there's a third thing, and I got to thank another Catholic YouTuber named Ali, which she was mentioning in her videos, that he wasn't even describing this answer to Americans. See, Americans and Westerners have this really bad habit of anytime anyone speaks, they must be talking to us. Oh, he's talking about the oppression of homosexuals in the West. He's not. He's talking about how in the rest of the world that he's talking to, when someone comes out as homosexual, they're stoned to death. They're killed. And he doesn't want that to happen. They're children of God and they deserve respect and love. And so in those circumstances, a law to protect those people from being stoned to death would be preferable to committing a horrible act of violence. A grave mortal sin could be avoided by simply giving children who come out as gay or queer or whatever word you want to use, is giving them legal protections under the law. Okay, so not controversial at all. But people reacted as if it was. I've said similar statements on this channel before, and I was going to make a video called My Views Now. That's how I'm going to end the current religious run on this channel, is updating my views from what my views were before I read the Church Fathers to what my views are now, because I've moved further to the right and become more conservative, or at least more traditional in my religious beliefs because of, or from reading the Church Fathers. And while I've become more traditional, I still haven't become a traditionalist. I'm not a rad-trad. I'm not a radical traditionalist. Traditional, as in I agree with the Church Fathers' way of thinking. The foundations of the church are correct. That doesn't mean that I'm a rad-trad. And I'm definitely not. They definitely wouldn't like me in the rad-trad community. So that's all that the Pope was saying. He's like, look, I'm not going to go against my Christian virtues, my Christian truths. I don't want anything bad to happen to people. I don't want harm to come to people. But even though I'm not going to condone their behavior, because inside the church, we're never going to allow gay marriage. That's not going to happen. But if you're outside of the church, well, you're not under the control or authority of the church. So if you're not part of the church and you're going to do whatever it is you're going to do, you're outside of the church, where if you're rejected by a community, people can kill and harm you. Anyway, not super controversial. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this one is the one that goes on to YouTube. I don't know yet. I still got to download some more software. Tell me if you guys like the camera. Tell me if you guys like the sound. I'm thinking about buying a mic for this camera. I bought a snowball mic for my computer for the next time I stream. I need to get a new router as well. Things are moving up. Things are moving faster. I want to start doing a video maybe once a week and cut it back to that. And yeah, talk to you all later. So right now the channel is still Alpha 4, but get used to hearing the term Alpha Centurion. Peace, like, and talk to you all later.